Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to make some brief comments and support this report. I support this report because I understand the importance of the Great Lake region in Africa. I understand the importance of the fresh lakes which exist in these regions, which help build our biodiversity. And all my colleagues who have spoken on this issue have emphasized on the need for us to take seriously matters on climate change, and particularly climate change adaptation. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very happy that one of the recommendations made by this report is to be able to legislate for the future. We just came back, Mr. Speaker, from the Masai Mara Game Reserve, where we had hosted a caucus on future generations. It is imperative that all of us remember that we own nothing in this world, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the beautiful Lamborghini that the majority leader drives, he doesn't own it. He only uses it on this world when he's moving from one place to another. You know, the $1 million house that Senator Morfire owns, he doesn't really own. He's really just a tenant. He will leave it on this earth for the next generation to be able to occupy it. This is very common in the States where I lived, where banks are the ones that own properties. You might think you own your home, and before you realize that you are dead, someone else has taken your home. This is something that I think it should go to the core of this nation, that we own nothing. Even the suit I'm wearing, I don't own it. It's just something to accompany me as I move from one place to another. We own nothing. So with these parliamentarians coming together to be able to discuss the importance of preserving the environment in this Great Lake region, the importance of discussing about the economy of these Great Lake regions, the importance of ensuring that we have a stable society. All these problems that we've had, Mr. Speaker, if you look at what happened during the genocide in Rwanda, where over 800,000 people died, and then all the instability that ensued in the Congo region, all these affects these Great Lake regions. And it's about time that we discuss issues and we follow through. I'm one of the biggest critics of seminars because they normally end up being just talk shops where people talk about what they're going to do. But when it comes to issues that affects future generation, it is something that I give my utmost attention. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, that this recommendation, that this report has been able to come up with, are followed to the latter. If you look at the one that I just talked about, enact legislation that will introduce measures to safeguard natural resources for future generation and create a more sustainable and resilient future for all. That in itself, Mr. Speaker, requires us to carry both pre and post scrutiny of all our legislations, to be able to see, are we legislating for now, or are we legislating also to be able to ensure that future generations are also protected? One of the legislation that I hope that we can be able to relook at is the legislation that deals with the environment. Mr. Speaker, a long time ago, Nairobi was known as the Green City, but now it is the concrete jungle, because we are building and building and building, and we are not really caring about the environment. I think it's about time, Mr. Speaker, that now in all our 47 counties, all our urban centers, we start by making sure that we fix the environment. We fix the environment, we plant trees. When I was growing up in Narok, we had a forest in Narok town called Ole Kina forest. Today is literally just a piece of land which is eroded for people moving, and also with the floods from time to time. I think now Narok County has got to move forward and bring reforestation in that area so that we even have a cleaner environment which we can be able to breathe. it is important. We talk about planting trees, but we plant trees so that we can be able to ensure that we adapt to the climate change, or do we plant trees so that people start knocking doors and saying we want carbon credit on the forest? Today, one of the very sexy and interesting business that has come up with has to do with carbon credit. You'll go to places in rural areas, people are talking about carbon credit. And they don't even know what carbon credit is. But the carbon credit is really a measure that is being put by the West and mostly companies abroad to be able to try and say we are compensating by making sure that other countries fix their environment, and then we can slowly erase our carbon footprint, which is not true. You know, we just have to be current and alive to the fact that this generation will determine how the future generation will be able to survive. Mr. Speaker, it is important to, when I look at the recommendation, the second recommendation says, renew their commitment to the African initiative to solve security challenges in the Great Lake region and support efforts aimed at promoting peace and stability in member states beset with conflict and instability. We have to demystify conflict and instability. What brings or what brews conflict and instabilities in our countries? It is very simple. It is the interest of the West. It is the interest of the East. Should we start looking within ourselves to realign our own existing resources to be able to better, our lives for the future generation? Mr. Speaker, every so often I am reminded of the new ruler now or the new leader of Burkina Faso. And today I came across a clip where he has made education free from primary all the way to university. I reminisce in the time when the former president, Kibaki, introduced pre-primary education. A lot of critics are like, no, how are you going to be able to fund it? How are you going to be able to afford it? It comes back to the issues discussed in this report. Issues to do with our natural resources, issues to do with the gold that we have in this country, which is traded, and then some guys who are unscrupulous businessmen take all the credit, and even the community not end up getting the royalties. We talk about the resources that we have. One of the most controversial natural resources that we have Murima Hills in Kwale. It is something that people don't talk about because the West have a big interest in it. To do what? To better the life of their people. Suppose we now look back and say, it is about time that we stand on our own 2 feet so that we can take care of our security. All these instabilities in the Congo region, why? There's a lot of resources, a lot of natural resources. So you'll see the West, the East, everyone is going there. Recently, Mr. Speaker, I read that the new president of Namibia has decided to hit back at Donald Trump sanctions and say that she actually gave all those investors, all those who are mining in that country, 48 hours to leave the country. And when you go back to Namibia and see the amount of resources which are coming from that country, you'll be shocked. So now, if all of us can start learning from other leaders from other regions, Burkina Faso, let's go to Namibia, and then we bring it back home here, we will be able to ensure that the security in the Great Lake regions, we'll be able to ensure that our water bodies are fully protected, we'll be able to ensure that even the laws that we develop in this house are climate adaptable to. They are supposed to, you cannot have seeds that you're planting, and this gives me an opportunity now to introduce that I will be introducing an amendment to CAP 326, which has to do with seeds and crops, so that we can be able to start having our own original seeds. We have our own, products in this country that can be able to help adapt to this climate change. So, Mr. Speaker, because of time, and I know a few of my colleagues want to contribute, and maybe my sister would like to move another report, I just want to say that it is imperative that when these reports come, we just don't discuss them, and then we table them, and then they go and collect dust. How do we follow through? And the way to follow through is to self-implement, to ensure that all of us here, when we are here, whatever is written in this report, we take it, we localize it, take it to our counties, make sure that if it is those water bodies, we protect them. If it is they're addressing the issue of forestry, afforestation, we lead by example. I know I was challenged by my colleague from Nandi when he said that a few years ago I planted trees in the Mao forest. I want to welcome you to go to the Mao forest today. You will see that 26 million seeds that we planted are all trees. So of course I've contributed to that. And these are some of the things that we do. A few other people do not comprehend, because someone is like, how are you able to spend that money to do it? I will end by repeating what I said. That the $100,000 car that my good friend from Nandi drives, he does not own it. It is just something that helps him navigate lives, and then he will leave it to the next person. You know, it'll probably be sold. So, Mr. Speaker, I rest, it's about 14 million. And even the car, even the motorbike that you drive for 3 million, you don't own it. You know, that motorbike, you will leave it on this earth. So it is important that we legislate for the future. We make sure that every piece of legislation, ML, that you come up with, or that we all bring it here, it is a legislation that will legislate for the future, not for the current generation.
Senator Ole Kina, would you like to be informed by Senator Cherargei?
Yeah, why not?
Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, so that you know these are live proceedings. Mr. Speaker, I don't drive an automobile of 14 million Kenya shillings. I only drive, as you heard Senator Kalwale saying, members of the Senate, I only drive a car worth 3.5 million Kenya shillings. So 14 million, I have not reached that level, Mr. Speaker, so I thought I should inform you.